Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to Medicine Buddha. Welcome, especially if you're here for the first time. I'm so glad to be here. My name's Karen Ziegler. Pronouns are she, her. And I'm in Durham, North Carolina, which is the land of Occaneechi people, Eno people, Shikori, and Lumbee people. And I just came from a retreat with Lama Rod. I was online. Some of you were there, and some of you were there in person. So as we get started, I wonder if we could just open it up. If people would like to share their experience either of Medicine Buddha practice at home or one of these retreats, or really anything about practice. Anybody? And you can just unmute yourself. I think Eric has it set. Thank you, Eric, for tech hosting tonight. Thank you so much. So can you hear? Oh, good. Okay. Everybody can hear. Great, great. So again, welcome to Medicine Buddha. This Monday night Sangam has been going since COVID started, and it's become such a sweet refuge. Lama Rod is on tour. So it's community-led tonight, and Carol is leading us next week, but the week after that, Lama Rod will be back. And part of his tour was he did a retreat at Natural Dharma in New England, and Trisha and Chance were there. I bet there's other people here who were there on that retreat. And I'm seeing people who were on the retreat with Lama Rod last December in Southern Dharma. There's really nothing like it. I was just saying to Eric that people who go to their first retreat and it's a Lama Rod retreat, we just have to gently break it to them that every retreat is not like that. It was just filled with a lot of joy and healing, and Medicine Buddha is about healing. Medicine Buddha is an emanation of the Buddha that is blue in color of lapis, is the healer. And, I'm sure that you all experience this on retreat, contemplating and experiencing what healing is and what it feels like. And one of my favorite definitions of healing is that we learn to touch with compassion and gentleness that which we had touched only with aversion. That when we can relax and really feel all of it, all of the ways that we feel broken, all the ways that our bodies may be struggling, all the ways that our lives are out of control, our world is out of control, when we can just sit with that and relax. I don't know, I've spent so many retreats just weeping through the whole thing, not always knowing why the tears came, what I was even releasing. But that's what healing is often. It's that ability to grieve, that ability to feel what maybe we didn't have time to feel. We were too busy to feel, And my experience in that retreat with Lama Rod over the weekend, and actually always when I'm with Lama Rod, is so much joy. the experience that really is who we are deep down, when we stop looking away, when we stop avoiding, when we really are able to be present, that is who we are, is a lot of joy. And to be able to experience that together is amazing. So thank you for being here. And I especially want to welcome people who are here for the first time. When I first started coming here, practicing with Lama Rod, it kind of freaked me out, like I wasn't used to visualizing deities. And sometimes some of these visualizations would get so long. And I was like, really, Lama Rod, really? And now you want us to do that? And it was just really challenging for me. And I couldn't always hold the concentration to keep going. And I'm not a good visualizer anyway. So, but of course, the practice is that we just keep returning when our mind wanders, or we're like, oh, I don't know if this is for me. You just return. And it's a kind of concentration practice that is very rich. Lama Rod talked kind of explicitly over the weekend about and you know what? I'm just seeing the chat, and I'm going to forget I'm going to remember what I was going to say, but I asked Eric to put this in the chat. I'm really excited about this course that Lama Rod is teaching on the Dharma of spiritual abolition. So it's something he's been talking about for a while, but it's actually happening. So thank you, Eric, for putting that in, because I wanted to call attention to that. And also, before I really got started, I wanted to call attention to Donna, because when I'm the tech host, I always kind of put it in at the end, because I don't want to interrupt or call attention away from whatever Lama Rod is talking about. But since I get to call the shots about this tonight, I want to put the Donna in, because the links in, because this is how Lama Rod makes a living. How he's able to teach is that his students support him. So I just want to encourage you to support Bhumi Sparsha or support Lama Rod directly. I used to be the pastor of a church, and this is what I heard one time in a church. And it was, it can be really self-serving if preachers say this in their church. But I just want to tell the story because I think there's something true about it. And people used to talk about the Dead Sea, and how the thing about the Dead Sea is that all the rivers and streams flow into the Dead Sea, but none of them flow out. And that's what's unique about the Dead Sea. And what else is unique about it is what? It's dead, So what they would say, and it just made an impression on me. If we keep receiving and receiving and receiving, and we're not giving out to the source of all that we received, we can get stuck. So that's one way to keep things moving, is to keep offering back what we keep receiving. And I am sure this is also true of you. We all receive so much from Lama Rod. I think the thing that I'm most overwhelmed with over and over is that is his generosity with all of us. So I wanted to put that in up front. And I really experienced that generosity over the weekend, because he just kept showing up and leading us through these beautiful, beautiful meditations and chanting. And he talked about this idea of visualizing deities, this thing that has been so hard for me. It's still challenging for me, but I'm finding it very rich, and I especially love this practice of Medicine Buddha. But he talked about how it engages us on so many levels. And then I realized that this kind of visualization practice that we do with Medicine Buddha, it is a concentration practice. And it's so much more. It also really shows us how to open a portal, and it opens that portal to a whole kind of energy, a whole frequency of energy that as we allow it to flood through our bodies, it really changes our very vibration. It changes who we are and how we are in the world, because we keep releasing, the shit we don't need, and the stuff that it's kind of real, but it's kind of not real, that's why I'm excited about, and Eric and I were talking about being excited about this course, the Dharma of Spiritual Abolition, because Lama Rod's going to talk about the Heart Sutra. Form is emptiness and emptiness is form, about how, yeah, it's real. Like right now, I'm in North Carolina and the General Assembly is about to override the governor's veto of the anti-trans bills, and it's driving me completely crazy. But there's a lot else going on. There's a whole lot else going on. There's a whole lot of light pouring into the world. There's a whole lot of practice happening in the world that is lifting the world. And we are part of that. This is something also Lama Rod talked directly about. The light that's pouring into the world, the lifting that we're doing. And he talked about how our practice is more difficult now because of the times that we're living in, because it's such an apocalyptic time. But we keep doing it, we keep showing up. In my experience of like the last 7 years working with Lama Rod, meditating, as he keeps teaching me, is that, wow, these practices are an accelerant. These practices do give us the courage to meet the world as it is now. And I believe that the ability to actually look at what's happening to the world, in our country, in my state, certainly, that's a rare gift. Not that many people are looking directly at it. And as I practice these practices that I learned from Lama Rod, in the way, with the energy that he teaches it, I am able to sustain that looking directly at the apocalypse, and have still so much joy and so much light that I can keep, hopefully shining in the world. So that's what we're going to do tonight, as we always do in Medicine Buddha, is taking in, receiving that care, that frequency of healing, the frequency of caring and love, so that we can shine it out.
Karen,
Hi.
his hand is raised.
Yes. Go ahead and talk. Milena, hi.
Hi. Can you hear me? I'm on my phone, and so
yes, we can hear.
Turn on my. Can you see me? No. Let's see. I think I can fix that. Sorry about that.
You're good. We're not in a hurry.
Okay, great. Usually, I know how to do this, but not now.
Yeah, well, having been tech host here for a couple of years, I know exactly how that feels.
Okay, okay, well, I have a voice, and here it is. Okay, there we go. Hi. Hi, everyone. So nice to see you and to be here. And Karen, to see you. I was at the residential retreat. What a gift it was. What a gift to practice with Lama Rod and Sister Siddhartha in person. It was just so magical. And to see there were 3 other people that I had recognized from the Sparsha, and to connect with them was so nice. Like they look like they're a little square, but they had so many dimensions, and it was really beautiful. And Karen, to see you there, I love that you were there with us, and the retreat itself, they really they really made it hybrid. And so the people on Zoom really felt like they were part of the retreat, and that was really beautiful. And yeah, absolutely, Karen, with everything you're saying. I mean, what a beautiful retreat. I'm sorry, I'm in a park. I don't know. Anyway, but what I wanted to share something I experienced at the retreat. The fire ceremony was so beautiful. We did practices with Tara and with Amitabha, and at the fire ceremony, we all chanted the Tara mantra in a circle with the fire in the middle, and everybody brought a prayer and in the middle. But so when I brought my prayer in the middle, it was just so powerful to feel. We were about 30 people surrounding me and holding me with the mantra, like physically, and feeling that power of the mantra and the Sangha merged together, you know. It was so beautiful. And later on the last day, which was yesterday, seems like a long time ago, but which was yesterday, we did, or was it the day before? Who knows? The empowerment for Amitabha and Tara, and something happened where I imagined the mantra. I think Lama Rod led us to imagine the mantra as a circle in our hearts, and I saw the circle of the Tara mantra in the middle, and then around that the Amitabha mantra, and then I realized that the circles it was the same circle of the fire ceremony. It was like the Sangha was the circle of the mantra, the circle of the Sangha chanting the mantra was the circle of the mantra, which was in my heart. And I don't know if this is coming through in the way that I experienced it, but yes. I just wanted to share like that power of Sangha and of the chanting, and so beautiful to be around so many people. You know, we do Medicine Buddha, you don't hear other people, unfortunately. I don't know if we'll have some kind of technology soon that would allow us to hear everyone. But I want to offer that because, well, tonight I'm gonna also imagine hearing you all in the mantra, and yeah, it was the first time that those two things, Sangha and mantra, for me became one thing, and and it was really beautiful. So I wanted to share that. It was a bit rambly, but I hope that it came through. So thank you for the opportunity to share, and yeah, and I recognize Trisha and Chance and somebody else I saw before.
Amanda.
Anyway.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, I also love that you mentioned the circle, because something that I wanted to bring up is, you know, Lama Rod led us through how to practice Medicine Buddha at home. And at a certain point, this was several months ago, remember he said, you know, after the opening sequence, invoking gratitude and our intention to do the introductory mantra. We're going to do this tonight, but and then the imagine Medicine Buddha in our hearts. And at a certain point, he added, imagine the mantra in a circle around Medicine Buddha. And the adding of that, I really experienced that as a sort of upgrade or something of that practice. Andy's laughing. Thank you. So I just wanted to suggest that that when we do that part of the practice, or when you do it at home, there is something about that, the mantra in a circle around that visualization of medicine Buddha in our heart. Because this is another thing about, Tibetan Buddhism and visualization, and Lama Rod bringing these things up. And I'm like, really? Are you sure? Are you sure this is going to work? Or are you sure that I have to add this one other thing that actually has been quite lovely? Yeah, thank you. Would anyone else like to share any experience from either, if you were at the retreat or some other retreat, or your practice of medicine Buddha, or your practice in general? So good to see you.
Hi,
Chance.
hi, Chancey. Something we kind of hit the ground running after the retreat yesterday, having to do things for people, but something that's really been kind of settling in for me is the kind of embodied experience of the practice, and the kind of the blessings and the support and the sense of belonging. And then that retroactively for me, like memories come up, and other sanghas that I've been part of that have wounds around, and kind of feeling those wounds heal to an extent, because I got a lot of blessing, and then I forget it. I lose the blessing in the anger and frustration. And in the early 90s, we did this wacky thing called SHOP, Suburban Homosexual Outreach Program. So we all had these pink stamps, and we stamped all of our cash, and it said gay money on all of our cash. And
I remember that.
We go out a couple of times a year. Oh, my phone. We go out a couple of times a year, and we pick them all, and there'd be like half a dozen of us, and we'd be hanging on each other and kissing on each other and spending our money. And I was young and goofy, but that was terrifying. That was terrifying. You brought up Matthew Shepard during the retreat, and that really, yeah. And so this, the way I said it to a friend is this realization and feeling that I was being held and blessed even then, even though I had no idea this container and these blessings existed. Does that make sense? And
yes.
Yeah, it's been really sweet. It's been really, healing's the only word I can think, like it forward and backward in time healing, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Oh, it makes so much sense. Yeah. And when we have these memories and we're able to heal them with just being able to look at them with so much kindness and love, and realizing that we weren't alone, that we were surrounded by care that whole time. Just you articulated that so well. It has a ripple effect to our present life and our future life. Yes, it changes us, doesn't it? It changes us. It's like a shift, it's like you're just a little, like the upgrade again, it's beautiful. That's so beautiful. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, and I feel like I want to tell the Matthew Shepard story again, even though those of you who are in the retreat heard it and many of you know it. But I know there might be people on this call who don't know the story of Matthew Shepard, who was a 21-year-old gay college student in Wyoming. And he was beaten to death. He wasn't quite dead. They left him in the cold, freezing cold in Wyoming overnight. And then he was found in the morning. But when he was found, there was a deer who had been just clearly lying right next to him all night long. And I remember I was so brokenhearted about his murder. And when I heard that story of the deer, something in me was healed, realizing that he wasn't alone. And during this retreat, I just had this realization, it was it was Tara, or it was Medicine Buddha. It was definitely someone that we invoke, who was there, who came to him and held him, and he wasn't by himself when he died. It meant so much to me to learn that he wasn't by himself when he died. And just the energy of a deer too. So he's the reason why we have federal hate crime legislation. The activists and his family, after his murder, is the reason why. So I invoke him. And Lama Rod, he's so sweet. He's really so kind about elders, like one of the reasons why the retreat was so wonderful is because it was so young. There were so many young people. And also, I think it was so queer. That was also really, really wonderful. But he's really cool about elders. And of course, I'm quite an elder, and quite a bit older than he is, which I love to remind him how much older I am than him. But he said, those of us who are elders, we need to tell our stories. And I just want to tell one story, which is today I was out and about, and I was wearing my Silence Equals Death t-shirt, which has a big pink triangle on it. And one time I wore it and somebody said to me, I swear he must have been an infectious disease doctor. That shirt saved a lot of lives. But today I ran into someone who really didn't know anything and didn't know that the pink triangle was what the Nazis forced the LGBTQ people to wear, as they were forcing Jews to wear the yellow star. Didn't know that the Nazis had exterminated our people too. Didn't know what the Silence Equals Death thing with the pink triangle was, which was the ACT UP slogan. And they would wear these t-shirts of the pink triangle and Silence Equals Death, because these young men who were dying of AIDS, they knew that they had to act up, and their activist group was called ACT UP, to try to save the lives of some of them. And many of them were on the street protesting, nearly dead, knowing that they were going to die, but trying to save the lives of those that would come after them. And the thing about them too was that they were often so joyful and creative, and this was the same time as what was the movie Paris is Burning? The ballroom scene was coming on, and then the activists themselves had such a beautiful sense of humor. Like, my favorite thing is Jesse Helms was a very right wing North Carolina senator, and my favorite thing is that they made a giant condom, because he was railing against condoms. It wasn't masks in those days, it was condoms that they were objecting to. They put a giant condom on his house. So I just love that. I love that. I want to do something like that to our current senators. I want to bring back that creativity, that that sassiness, So I just feel like invoking all of that, because it's the shoulders that we stand on. It's the reason why we could do what we did many years ago. I remember the Meadville Gay Hotline was my thing. Meadville, Pennsylvania, like a town of like 10, we started a gay hotline. The phone company didn't know what to do with us. Yeah, we did all that. And now we are seeing these young queer people who are so amazing beyond anything we could possibly imagine. The challenges to what gender is just magnificent. And, for those of us who are elders, it's a challenge, learning about pronouns, it's a challenge. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. It thrills me that there are people saying that they're non-binary, that are, clearly non-binary. Kalivia put in the chat, I remember Meadville. We met in Meadville over 50 years ago. Yeah. I guess I won't tell that story, but it's a pretty fabulous story. Hi, Clevia. Yeah, elders, there are elders in your midst, and we are so excited about what young LGBTQ people are doing. And so, here we are in North Carolina, and we're seeing this horrible bullshit legislation and disinformation and lies about trans people. And I just try to remember, yeah, I mean, it's really hard for these people. They can't wrap their mind around it. And it's only because we came as far as we did that we can now wrap our mind around it. But I think for them, it's just such a leap that it's just terrifying for them. So, one of the things I really love about studying with Lama Rod is that he keeps bringing me to compassion. He keeps bringing me to an understanding that, yeah, these people are doing a lot of violence, and all we can do is really want them to be happy and want them not to suffer, because it's their suffering that makes them create this violence. I really appreciate that, because I think otherwise it would really get in the way of where I want to go in my spirit, where I want to go in this lifetime. I really want to get free. And authentic teachers who can actually help us get free are really rare. So I also just want to invoke the energy of gratitude. And one of the things I want to say I'm really grateful for is that we have this really authentic teacher who's really teaching us how to get free. So we have this deity practice that we're gonna get into in a minute. So this visualization of the healer, the great healer, medicine Buddha, is something that really can allow us to open a portal to who we really are. And when we get to that place where we realize, I am medicine Buddha, that is really who we are. We are here to heal the world. I think that's why we came right now at this time. And ourselves, of course. And then just something about mantras. I was so glad to hear about the singing of the mantra. And even though we can't hear each other sing, I wonder if when we're chanting the mantra, we can really get a sense that we're all doing it together in all of these different places in the world. We're all chanting this same intention with the same words, the same intention. And it's a powerful intention. And once again, just that idea that Lama Rod said more than once, that we are lifting ourselves into a higher vibration. We are lifting ourselves and helping to lift the world. And there are so many people doing that right now. So when we chant, when we have our practice to just understand that we're all with each other, none of us are alone, and we're all connected. We're so connected through these practices. So just a few things that were like gems, real gems that Lama Rod said in the retreat that I wanted to pull out for you. He said, the mantra is like a code or a spell that is aligning us back toward the source. It's like a code or a spell that is aligning us back to the source. Mantra is really powerful. I first learned my root mantra from my root teacher in 1989. And what I learned then was that as we practice the mantra, to imagine that the mantra, the giver of the mantra, in this case, Lama Rod, and his lineage, their lineage, and the meaning of the mantra are all the same thing. So that's a lot. See, that back to like, are you really kidding me? Do you want me to do all that? But mantras aren't just words. Mantras are alive. When they come to us from a lineage, when they come to us from an awakened, authentic teacher, mantras are alive. And mantras attune us, he said over the weekend, to the deity that is associated with the mantra. So as we chant the mantra in a little while, know that we are attuning ourselves to the healer, the liberator, the medicine Buddha. And even, even if our mind wanders, we just keep coming back to it. And if we surrender to it, the energy of that deity comes in. So I want to, let's start our practice now. We'll just do a little meditation and then start chanting, okay? And meanwhile, don't forget to put your prayers in the chat, because we'll say them, we'll share them, and we'll do just exactly the same thing we do every week. We'll do the introductory mantra, the main mantra, the prayers, the main mantra, the Shantideva prayer, and first just a little meditation. So invoking the energy of gratitude, if you haven't done that already, and then invoking our intention. And our intention always in this place, on Monday night, is to get free. Is to get free as quickly as possible, and to help as many people as possible to get free. And then just listening to your body, how your body wants to be. It's fine, however it is. You can lie down, you can sit. If you need to move in the middle, that's fine, just so that you can relax and so that your body is coming along with you into this practice and doesn't distract you too much. That's great. Yeah. Take your time doing that. And then when you're ready, bringing your attention to the seat or wherever your body is meeting the ground or feeling the ground beneath you, the awakened consciousness of the earth. See if you can really bring your full attention for a few minutes to the seat, to how it is holding you, feeling the care of that, feeling the grounding and support of that, support of the earth. You can always return to this sensation, this seat. And when you're ready, just pretend that Medicine Buddha, the healer, in whatever form works for you, comes into the room and is with you, or comes into whatever space you're in and is sitting with you, sitting beside you. See if you can imagine what that would be like. And do it just like you were a kid playing Let's Pretend. Imagine Medicine Buddha looking at you with great love. Accepting everything about you completely. and imagine that there is light all around them. And that you can sense that light beginning to surround you. So that Medicine Buddha is saying to you, you too are Medicine Buddha. You too are the healer. See if you can take in that love. Just as though light is being poured into us, or warmth. See if you can take it in. Accept that care. Accept that respect. That you are worthy. That you can be free. That you deserve to be free. And you might try it on. I am Medicine Buddha. I am light. I am a healer. Just imagine that that care, that light is pouring into you and into every single one of the people in all these little squares. And then we'll chant the opening mantra. We'll be in the chat together. Om, the opening mantra, Om Menla Sangye Kino Soha. Medicine Buddha, see me, know me, be with me. We'll chant it 3 times, and then we'll hum it 3 times. See if you can just really know that we're all doing this together. Om Menla Sangye Kino Soha. Om Menla Sangye Kino Soha. With gratitude for this energy of care, this energy of love that we have invoked, I invite you to imagine that you bring Medicine Buddha into your heart space. I always think like there's a tiny little Medicine Buddha, that Medicine Buddha shrinks and comes right in to my heart space. And you're invited to imagine that light is coming from that place, that heart space, and suffusing your whole body. The bones, the muscles, the tendons, the organs, the blood, the breath, all the capillaries, all the cells. That light filling our brain, our skull, our toes, radiating out from our heart space where we've invited Medicine Buddha to come, purifying us of our sense of unworthiness, giving us clarity, and see if you can, as we chant the main mantra, see if you can stay with this idea that the syllables of the mantra are the deity, that the meaning of the mantra, that's in the chat now, thanks Eric, that the meaning of the mantra, is the deity. Medicine Buddha, we pray for the end of pain and suffering and the root of pain and suffering, and we release this prayer throughout all the worlds. So we'll chant this first Om, okay, and then chant, and then we'll have the prayer. Sometimes as we say or chant this mantra, it's filled with the fierceness of how much we want everyone to be free, of how much we want an end to suffering, of how we long for that so deeply, our own freedom and the freedom of all beings. And sometimes what's in that mantra is the very tenderness and care of Medicine Buddha, like what we felt the first time we were ever loved. That memory, the first time we loved someone and really were aware of it. Maybe the first person we fell in love with. That tenderness is the care and the tenderness of Medicine Buddha. And it's in this mantra as we chant it sometimes. Calling upon right now, as we bring these prayers, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all the angels and archangels and guardians and spirits of the land, all those deities of all of our traditions that have brought us comfort, that have brought us power in our lives, guardian spirits, protector spirits, all those who are able to help us accomplish these prayers, change us so that we can accomplish these prayers through our lives and our way of thinking about ourselves and the world. May Chance have rest, resource, and joy as he takes care of all those in his life. For Tricia, as she continues to work with her mind and body and cancer and chemo and healing, yes. Prayers of gratitude for my newfound space and grounding as I continue to tend to childhood trauma, yes. I pray that I keep this ground I've gained and not slip into hopelessness. Yes. Prayers for MH. May she find deep healing so she can re-enter life in a full way and make her beautiful music. Prayers for LD. May she continue to heal from surgery and feel well enough to make her amazing art. Prayers for the people of Maui. May the earth find healing and heal her people. And may we learn to heal ourselves and stop harming. Prayers for my husband, that he lands a job soon. Prayers for my dear Eleanor, who is starting chemo soon for stage 3 colon cancer, that she survive chemo and remain alive to care for her, tend to her kids for many years to come. For my dear spouse, to find his way back to his whole self whilst healing from transgenerational trauma. Prayers for myself and my coworkers as I transition into a new chapter to find my truth. May my gratitude be known and we all find peace through this shift. Prayers for my husband and I that our marriage grows stronger and that we find our way back to each other in love, romance, and safety. Prayers for my 15-year-old daughter that her school year start well and that she connect with other people her age and learn to get into the mix and have agency. A prayer for Patrick, my brother, as he faces prostate cancer. Prayers for teachers, including myself, as we prepare for a new school year and another new beginning. Prayers for young adults as they reach for themselves. May we support them and provide them abundant resources. Prayers for Jeff as he heals from heart surgery. Prayers that I have enough energy to get care and feel better. Prayers for myself and my children and family. May we find healing and be well. Prayers for the people of Maui, the Kanaka Maui especially. Prayers that they can find some comfort in the face of this total devastation. Prayers for all the invisibles holding us, caring for us, and leading us. May we always have the whimsy and bravery to throw ourselves into the arms of the beloved, even though it may feel silly on a good day and risky and dangerous on the dark ones. For all my dear ones in life, may they be safe, peaceful, in good health, and live in ease. May those enacting violence out of fear and suffering, may they find a deep, safe peace to melt it all away. For all those alone, abandoned, and afraid, especially the very young and the vulnerable. Prayers for Leah that she may get a date for her surgery soon and have her pain subside as she waits. Prayers for those in Lahanya, the people, land, the plants, and creatures. Prayers for me that I may find a good job so that I can contribute to a home and stable life for me and my partner. Prayers for my upcoming surgery, also for my beautiful trans family members and all oppressed and struggling people to be free and whole. Prayers for Bill as he navigates his pain and grief. Please pray that my son is able to stop drinking, praying that I never forget that I am trustworthy. Prayers for guidance in choosing the right legal defense for my loved one. Prayers for my son finding fulfilling and financially rewarding work. Prayers for courage to move forward without anxiety. Prayers for my family and children, for my profound anxiety. Prayers for David and my family as he and we navigate the loss of Derek. May he move easily through the Bardo. Yes. Offering prayers too for everyone who is incarcerated, for everyone who is dealing with pain and illness, for all the activists, praying for a peaceful resolution to Cop City, a miraculous resolution to the North Carolina General Assembly, prayers for Allison. We offer these prayers to the tender and fierce healing heart of the Buddha, of Medicine Buddha, who teaches us and helps us to feel the fierce desire to be free and the fierce longing for the freedom not only for ourselves but for all beings. So in that tenderness, let's chant the main mantra just a little while longer, offering up our prayers. And then we'll do the prayer, the closing prayer. Om Teyata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Rasa Sumangate Soha Teyata Om Begite Begite Maha Begite Rasa Sumangate Soha Habegite Raza Zumangati Soha. So all that light we've been gathering into ourselves and receiving through each other, through this invocation, all that light. I invite you to imagine that Medicine Buddha dissolves into light, and that light in our hearts and our bodies that we've been gathering and holding, whether we've visualized it or not, it doesn't even matter. And we imagine that it's overflowing from us, so we spill it out into the world, into answering these prayers, into all of the universe that needs this light. We let it go. It keeps flowing into us, so we can let it go. And now, having received and given respect to and from the Medicine Buddha and care, receiving it and offering it, I invite you to bring your attention back to the seat, to this room that you're in or space that you're in, to all the little squares. To this world that is real and not real, which I guess we're going to hear more about in the course coming up about the Heart Sutra. What a joy to do this practice together. And we'll close with my very favorite prayer in the world, the Shantideva prayer. And we'll say it together 3 times. I'm going to put it up because I don't know if I'll remember the whole thing while I'm looking at you. You're very beautiful. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures. And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. Again, may I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of every living creature, of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. And last time, may I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. Thank you so much for your practice. Thank you so much for your practice. May we dedicate this practice to our own freedom and the freedom of all beings. May we all be free as quickly as possible.